and welcome to the channel. My name is Anna Maria and I will take you through some myths, legends and folklore. And in today's episode I will talk about Skogsrået, the mistress of the forest. Skogsrået, or the mistress of the forest, or a Hulder, or these names. If you break it down, skog means forest and a rå is a keeper. So she was the keeper of the forest, but she was also the keeper of animals. And it's an old tradition and belief that certain beings or spirits took care of nature and the animals. In Norse mythology, the god Odin hated the Hulder. He used to chase her through the forest like one of the animals she wanted to protect. A Hulder was described as a beautiful woman from the front, but if you turned around you could see that the back was hollow and the edges was like a rotten tree. Sometimes she also had a tail. She could be an old woman or a woman with very large hands. A raw Hulder could also be a man. In the beginning there were many descriptions of men, but that changed. And a reason for that could be that a lot of men were working away and working alone in the forests, and they were dreaming and fantasizing about a woman. And they were fantasizing about female beings or female spirits being there with them. But the male versions still lived on in some areas. It was very important to be on the Hulder's good side. She had a good side and an evil side. She was mostly dangerous towards men though. She would lure them out into the forest using her appearance to make them believe whatever they wanted to believe. And then when they were deep into the forest where they couldn't get out again, she was showing them her hollow rotten back and then disappearing. And they would never find their way out. There were tricks you could use though. One common one was for men to not say their name to her, because if they said their name, she had power over them. The Hulder could also be very helpful. She would help hunters to never miss their prey. She would warn of bad weather. She would warn of any accidents that were about to happen. So if you were nice to her, she could be a very, very helpful being. In the 1600s, it was a serious crime to be involved with the Hulder, and a man could be sentenced to death if people believed he got the Hulder pregnant or if he had any intimate involvement with her at all. So men usually didn't speak about the Hulder, or if they had met them, they didn't want to give any inclination at all that they had been around her because of the strict laws surrounding the subject. Stories about this being can be different depending on what area you were in. For example, in south of Sweden, you could reverse what a Hulder had done to you by reciting the Lord's Prayer backwards. In the mid-north of Sweden she had cattle with her all the time and cared more for the animals. And she also could change looks, like I said before, depending on how she was treated and what area she lived in. And that was all for this episode. If you liked it, please comment, like and subscribe, and don't forget the notifications, and I will see you in the next episode.